Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here to congratulate you for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is an amazing forum, and I'd like first to say thank you, a big thank you to Nitzan Chen and his team of the GPO for their cooperation, please, in this project. And of course, other partners that we have here, which are doing a lot, not just in this conference, is the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Thank you. So before I share with you some of the things that the ministry is doing, and I'd like to tell you that I really appreciate what you do. Usually when I come to such events, I have to explain things. I have to talk and try to convey our message. This time I don't feel that there is such a need. I feel that unlike in other places, I'm here to actually share with friends what we are doing. In some cases, it sounds banal to say to people of press that you appreciate what they're doing, but since we are seeing what's happening with so many of the traditional press today, when they're not faithful to their own codes. So I'm bowing here and saying thank you for what you're doing, for those who bring our personal stories, those who are sticking to the truth, checking facts, and not sharing fake news. Well, Israel is fighting a terrible war, as you know. And as you know, in the military side, we're doing much better. But today, when our situation is much better than it was even on the 6th of October militarily, our main problem is with the public opinion. Our main problem is the world press. And of course, there are still 8 bodies of hostages that are not returned yet, and Hamas is still not disarmed. I know that you pray for us. I know that you tell our story. And it's important that you're there in all the platforms. My grandmother wanted me to be a rabbi. It didn't happen, as you know. I wanted to be world champion in gymnastics, which didn't happen either, though I was closer. I had to do a compromise, and I went to be a diplomat. And usually, I'm quite sorry for this choice, especially these 2 last years, but events like this, of course, are bringing back the faith that it's the right thing. So what do we do in the ministry? There are the 5 main topics where we're working very strongly. We're talking about 109 embassies. We're talking about our people speaking the truth, telling the story of Israel in all these places. We're talking about more than 20,000 interviews just given by our people, and not even talking about inviting you to talk in so many places. We're talking about huge work of the digital, which we'll follow in a second. 33 channels, 109 embassies working on that. Most of them have their own channels as well. Huge work with the civic society to strengthen the Israeli message. Huge effort is done to promote, as you can see, culture, academy, and sports, even though the pressures are growing, starting from even participation of Israelis in different events, and the danger for not being included. Of course, this effort is also with the organizations of Jews and Muslims supporting Israel. As we go to look at what we did at the beginning of the way, you will see that we made huge efforts in the digital. You can see some of the numbers here. You can pass that. Next. You'll see the different places where we are on social media. Next. Next. And of course, big effort from the beginning of the war is to find places where we can show ourselves. We can show our pictures. We can show the blue and white symbols. You can see famous places and small ones like the cemetery in Macedonia, which also put the blue and white. We have hundreds of these pictures from different places. Next. And of course, big demonstrations, which we help to organize, and we try to make sure that the right people will get there. Next. And big projects. Almost every embassy is trying to make a special project which will be relevant to the place where they are. You can see the Pikachu line, 101 at the time hostages, 101 of them in a main street in Japan. Next. And of course, civic society, which is the part I'm dealing in, is doing all those things. I will not be reading all of it. Next. And the main issue, the main effort is, of course, delegations. And we try to bring the biggest possible relevant people to make sure that we make a difference. In a usual year, we bring something like 25 delegations. This year, we already brought 161, 143 are more to go until the end of the year. Approximately 4,200 people already arrived in these delegations, and 6,000 people are all together until the end of the year. The effort is to look at this in a strategic way to make sure that we bring journalists, we bring influencers, bloggers, people from innovation, civic society, everyone that can make it tick, can make a difference, can push a bit the situation to a better understanding of what has happened here. This is just a part next of the different countries, the different priority groups. Next. And this is already delegations. 200 lawmakers came from the United States. Huge delegation of journalists, leading journalists from Newsmax. I saw the lady, one of the reporters here as well. Big delegations of influencers are coming again and again. Just last week we had here influencers from Colombia with more than 50 million followers. Delegations from researchers of Middle East, delegations from China and Japan, Russia, Ukraine, mayors from around the world. Next. Delegations for AI and cyber, and even delegations of Iranians from the exile, leaders of religion that were here last week, 50 of them from Africa, delegations of culture to big festivals, and of course, big delegations of different origins of journalists coming from all around the world. And some very, very special ones, like delegations of people who make tattoos from Los Angeles, who came, and 300 soldiers get special tattoos of what they asked for. And side by side with that, by each one of them with hundreds of thousands of followers, of course. And of course, the next big project this month, 160 from the 16 lenders of Germany, 160 selected people will be coming here, celebrating with us 60 years of relations with Germany. All that is done. And of course, bringing special people like Paula White, Nate Bazulik, James Maslow, and many, many others. All of them, we're trying to bring them to make sure that they go to the south, they go to the north, they meet families of hostages, they hear our story, they go to Judea and Samaria, they go and visit and see everything relevant to make a difference. Many of them put the things immediately, others are writing afterwards. We're trying to get the full picture. We're trying to give them a very special feeling here. Among the things that we do, we try to create monuments that tell the story. This is the Pommelgrat standing in the ministry, where you put your phone on it, you see little films from YouTube about what happened on the 7th. And soon there will be also the films of the better things that have happened since then. We're trying to make sure that the visitors will get information and will stay in touch. I want to thank you again. Next. This is from the delegation of Newsmax. Next. And even from this visit now, we already had some stars in our presentation. Next. Paula White was here. She got a little pomegranate, and I hope you will be getting one as well later this week. Nate and James Maslow visiting here in this museum and at the Knesset. And one of the big projects where we have Masa Amini and Shirel Chaimpour. Shirel was a victim on the 7th from Iranian origin, a Farsi girl. She was murdered, and her picture is made from pixels of the victims, of 1,200 victims. This was here on the museum for half a year. Next. And of course, when we have big stars, like stars from the NBA going with us to the south, we do them projects also with people with special needs. This is a project called Upside Down, where we take pictures with people with special needs and share it in order to put them in the front. So this is near Sderot, in an institute for people with special needs, with a star from the NBA. Next. And from last week, just a short glimpse to see a visit in Shalva, a center for people with special needs in Jerusalem. Today in Shalva, we experience something that you cannot really express in words. You can only feel. We had a visit from influencers from Colombia, people who influenced the lives of millions. But the most impressive was their hearts. They didn't come just to look, they came to take part. And they came to play basketball with the kids, to draw with them, to create art, to laugh, to hug, and to have a good time at the cafe in Shalva, and to meet Dvorah, and to listen to Samuel's. The deepest things that you can see of loving the life. In such a hard, difficult time for Israel, they chose to come and see with their own eyes, to feel with their heart. Something that is very precious. They were witness for excellency and the possibility to change their life. And they opened, and they got excited, and they connected. They entered the story. Next. Thank you for coming to Shalva. Next. Next. Okay, and we are finishing with a picture of the ministry today, actually last night. This is a project which is called The Angels, to remember the victims of the 7th of October. The lady who created it, Hila Abir, her brother Lotan was murdered in the Nova, and as a gesture, the ministry put these angels at the entrance. Every visitor who comes to the ministry sees it. So I'm here to say thank you for what you're doing. What you're doing is so important. Please continue and make sure that we do it together and tell our story. Thank you.